All right, shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ruchakodash. I want to give double honors to our apostles and elder bishops, a great millstone who continue to rule well and guide us through the Spirit. Double honors to their teachers as well, who laid down the bulk of the doctrine which we teach. All right, and peace and blessings, shalom to the Most High's hopeful elect across the four corners of the earth. I'm the brother Yagadal Lama from GMS Houston. All right, back into the lesson. All right, now I just want to go into one of my favorite chapters, all right, when it deals with, all right, our inheritance, all right, and who are we, the true children of the Most High Power, all right, Yasha, all right, which break down, all right, as princes of the power, all right, or prince of the power, all right. Yah is he, Shar is prince, and Allah is power. He, prince, power. Okay, so that's the children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, this whole script and movie that the Most High have put together through the Spirit, okay, and breathed understanding and the Spirit into men, okay, to scribe these words down. All right, are all spiritual, okay, but they're all centered around, all right, his chosen people, his peculiar treasure. Okay, separating us from the other nations who are like unto spittle. Okay, all the other nations that came out of Adam. Okay, so this is one of my favorite chapters to go in dealing with this because wisdom, all right, is speaking with throughout this chapter. Okay, and as we read in Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times. All right, of thy time, okay, and that word stability goes to faith, okay, so wisdom itself is an inheritance unto us to guide us to salvation, and we know first and foremost the elect, okay, but the whole nation is going to be brought back through the remnant, all right, who's going to obtain and hold on to wisdom, okay, so Lord willing this be edifying. All right, but this is Sirach chapter 24. And I'm going to read verse 1 and 2 and then jump down. This is Sirach 24:1. It says, wisdom shall praise herself and shall glory in the midst of her people, which are the Israelites. It says, in the congregation of the Most High shall she open her mouth and triumph before his power. I came out of the mouth of the Most High and covered the earth as a cloud. Okay, so let's jump down to verse 8. All right. You know what? I'm gonna read all the way through. Fuck it. All right. Let's get it. Verse 4. It says, "I dwelt in high places, and my throne is an cloudy pillar. I alone could pass the circuits of the heaven and walked in the bottom of the deep." And when I go through this chapter, man, it really shows you the depth and how precious this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is, man. Okay, that's why in the kingdom we're going to be ever learning still, man. We're going to spend forever learning the wisdom and understanding of the Most High Power. All right, wrap your minds around that, man. While Jake is playing around and selling out and bugging out, all right, we're focused on, man, that alone. All right. Constantly getting closer and closer with the Heavenly Father within a new body. All right. Verse 6, it says, in the ways of the sea and in all the earth and in every people and nation I got a possession. Okay, so it said, you see, one of them nutcases would read this and see, in every people and a nation I got a possession. All right, but let's keep reading. It says, with all these I sought rest. Okay, so wisdom sought for rest. Okay, it says, and in whose inheritance shall I abide? So yeah, wisdom she found a possession within all people and nation. Okay, all right, but it said it's getting very specific now. All right, in whose inheritance shall I abide or live? Okay, it says, so the creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, and thine inheritance in Israel. Straight to the point, man. All right. Wisdom was set as an inheritance, all right, for the nation of Israel, all right, to separate us from the rest of the nations. That's what made us peculiar. That's what made us special. Okay, that's what made us holy. Okay. All right, let's keep reading. It's verse 9. It says, He created me from the beginning. He created me from the beginning before the world, and I shall never fail. All right, that's why when you go into multiple chapters speaking about what? That nobody that has stood with the walk with the Most High have been confounded, man. Okay. All right. Verse 10, in the holy tabernacle I served before him, and so I established in Sion. Likewise, in the beloved city, he gave me rest. All right, the beloved city, which is who? Jerusalem. All right, it says, and in Jerusalem was my power. All right, no other nation is included within this, man. The Most High has a beloved city, a beloved people, which is Jerusalem. All right, representing the nation of Israel. Okay. All right, verse 12, it says, and I took root in an honorable people, even in the portion of the Lord's inheritance, man. Okay, so wisdom took root in the nation of Israel, which was said to be an honorable people. All right, we were supposed to be an example of the righteousness of Yahweh Shem Yahushua within the earth. Okay, but part of the Most High movie was us to fall away from that. Okay, so his son, all right, could receive glory unto him. Okay, doing what he had to do to bestow us back onto that promise. Okay, it says, I was exalted like a cedar in Libanus, and as a cypress tree upon the mountains of Hermon. I was exalted like a palm tree in Gadi, and as a rose plant in Jericho, as a fair olive tree in a pleasant field, and grew up as a pleasant tree by the water. And this is beautiful, man. It's just going, man. The Most High is very poetic when it comes to wisdom, man. How he describes our wisdom. Okay. It says, I gave a sweet smell like the cinnamon of Aspalatus. It says, and I yielded a pleasant odor like the best myrrh and galbanum, and onyx and sweet storax, and as the fume of frankincense in the tabernacle, as the turpentine tree, I stretched out my branches, and my branches are the branches of honor and grace, which are only extended to the nation of Israel. Okay? All right. It says, as the vine brought I forth pleasant savor, and my flowers are the fruit of honor and riches. I am the mother of fair love and fear and knowledge and holy hope, which is the only hope is for the nation of Israel, who the Most High promised the kingdom of heaven to. Okay? This is the whole reason he had it set up, all right, that Jacob, all right, was going to receive the blessing over his elder brother Esau. Okay? To fulfill the inheritance to the nation of Israel. Okay? It says, I therefore, being eternal, am given to my children, which are named of him, Yasharallah, Israel. Okay? All right? We are named after the Most High power. Okay? You go into the Hebrew word for Judah, which is Yahweh. All right? The Most High's name is within that name. All right? The Hebrew name for Judah. Okay? All right? But we are called after the Most High power, man. We are his chosen people, man. Okay? It says, come unto me, all ye that desire of me, and fill yourselves with my fruits. And see, that's the thing. All right, these nutcases, all right, fucking sellouts, all right, are trying to act like it's going to, some miraculous event is going to happen, and Esau's going to all of a sudden, and heathens are going to, no, they have to seek after wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. They have to accept the truth. Okay? to be filled with her fruits. This is only for the nation of Israel, and right now only for the elect. Okay, that's why guys like that are set up to be stumbling blocks for the non-elect. Okay, but no other nation is going to adhere to the full truth of the Bible, man. Okay, it says, "For my memorial is sweeter than honey, and mine inheritance than the honeycomb. They that eat me shall yet be hungry, and they that drink me shall yet be thirsty. He that obeyed me shall never be confounded." Man, and I was speaking on that earlier, man. Okay? But no other nation is going to obey the Heavenly Father, man. All right? They have their laws, statutes, their laws and statutes, but their traditions are amongst their culture. All right? They have their false gods and beliefs to follow after, and that's what the Most High gave for them. Okay, and then a stumbling block for the nation of Israel to get caught up on as we went into different captivities under the other nations, man. Okay, but this is only pertaining to the nation of Israel. Only an Israelite is going to obey, all right, wisdom, okay, and stand on wisdom, man, unto death. All right, as you read about certain of our forefathers, okay, you use Mattathias, for example. Okay, you read about the book of First Maccabees, man. Okay, he stood stiffly, all right, for the law, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father until his death, all right, and passed that on unto his sons. All right, on his deathbed, what did he do? He listed out the history of our forefathers that wasn't confounded because they stayed stuck with the Lord, man. Okay, but it says, and I'll read 22 from the top again. It says, "He that obeyeth me shall never be confounded, and they that work by me shall not do amiss. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High Power." Okay, all right, and who do you make a covenant with? The Israelites. All right, it says, "Even the law which Moses commanded for an heritage unto the congregations of Jacob." Okay, so the covenant, the law was given unto the congregations of Jacob, all right, whose name was changed to Israel and fathered 12 sons, all right, to become the progenitors of the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, all right. So you know what? I'm going to stop right there. I just wanted to get to that point, man, to show, man, how the Most High puts heavy emphasis on his inheritance going into the nation of Israel. All right, this is the nation, his peculiar treasure that he chose to deal with and set above the other nations. Okay, but we had to go through, all right, the story. We had to go through the movie. We had to play out the parts that the Most High set for us in the earth. Okay, now we're at a time to where, all right, we served our punishment, and the Most High is about to wrap this thing up, man. All right, and these guys is pushing that the nations can be saved and that the MOTB is not the CHIP. All right, this is just a spiritual distinction being made. All right, and condemnation. All right, being made by what these guys are teaching at the end, man. Okay, this is showing who truly has the truth. All right, and who's gonna stand. All right, and submit to the beast. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. All right, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua willing, it was edifying. Once again, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Chakadash. Double honors to our apostles and other bishops of Great Millstone who continue to rule well and guide us to the Spirit. Double honors to their teachers as well. And peace and blessings. Shalom to the Most High. Hopefully, keep fighting, keep pushing.